Well, actually, everything you're doing today, everything I do today, I have already thought about. Was it good? If it is, continue. If it isn't, stop. You can stop yourself, can't you? I mean, you can throw it out and take a new idea. Well, do it. Do so. See, look, you got to be on all the time. So why not pay attention all the time? And then you know where you're going. If you're thinking feelingly about any subject, that's where you're going until you change your mind. You'll stay with, God says, I am with you always. I will never leave you. Doesn't that sound like immortality? Nothing stops until you stop it, but nothing starts until you start it. So what are you doing? Are you stopping something or starting something? But one promotes the other. Stop for a moment and say, where am I going with this? Is this taking me where I want to go? If it isn't, why am I thinking it? See, you have to ask yourself questions. People don't do that. They think, well, it just happened. No, it didn't just happen. You thought of it. I mean, I don't know why you don't know that you're thinking about it, because that's just that you're not paying attention, because what has your attention has your life. Now, if you just think that one statement and rotate it over and over and over in your mind, what has your attention has your life. Now, if what has your attention has your life, and that's okay, fine, build on that. But if it doesn't, stop it and start over again. And that's what we're doing. We're constantly starting all over every time. You're always, look, it says this day. Well, I don't know if you know it or not, but it's always this day. It's never a yesterday. It's never a tomorrow. It's this day. And it's what you're thinking this day is what you're going to be doing in days down the line. So if it's not lovely and a good report, and you don't want to carry it along with you, well, then change your mind, change your world. And you're told to do that. So if you're told to do that, then you can do it. See, God told you to do it, and he knows you. He knows what you can do, and he knows what you can't do. And you can do most anything because he gave you choose this day. And it's why there's no parameters on that, is there?
None.
None. Did you hear any? No.
Whatsoever. Whosoever, whatsoever.
That's right. That's right. Whatsoever. That's it. What are you thinking about? That's all. That's all you have to know. We're here for one reason. And someone asked me, well, what are we here for? To direct your conversations. If a man would order his conversations aright, he would be shown salvation. So it's right with you if you turn to it. Just as God has told you, you turn to me, I'll turn to you. You deny me, I'll deny you also. But that's not that he doesn't say that, he's allowing you to choose life. What are you choosing? See, it's that simple. If you keep it simple, you'll remember it. I know I used to complicate everything. Really, I did. And actually, I was told that. I mean, from in here, I was told, why are we complicating this? What? Why are you complicating this? What? That's all I could say is what? Because I didn't know what I was doing. And I found out that's really what it was. I didn't know what I was doing, but I was given to know. So why don't I know? You do know. And that's why you're so shy about it, is that you do know. But you don't want to participate in what you know. But that's what you really need to do, this to join in with, is that the lovely and good report is with you always, but you have to claim it. Show up and claim it. I am that. That's the only thing that's going on in this whole vast world of population, is just that.
Absolutely. You said something. You said, listen, you know, but you don't want to participate. And you often will say this. You say, listen, everyone knows what to do, but they want others to do for them what they know they must do for themselves. And this is so true. You know, everybody wants to watch a video. Everybody wants to listen to a TED talk. Everybody wants to see a TV program. Everybody wants to listen to a Neville Goddard tape. They want to know about that tape to transform. But you said something previously. You said, listen, you got to start doing. You got to implement. It has to be a first-hand, first-person experience. And most of us keep it out there as a new video, as a new course, as a new speaker, as somebody out there that's going to tell us something that, as you often say, that we must do ourselves. And the problem is most people think that they can get it by osmosis or watching a video or listening to a good talk, but they don't want to do the implementation.
No, it's all information.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
all information. There's no help at all if you don't use it.
Yeah.
But it's there. In other words, I saw a guy on TV, he's holding a sign, and it says it's right in front of you. And you know, I denied that for years and years and years. Where is it? Where is it? It was right in front of me. But you see, you have to see it with your internal eyes. You see, in other words, you're making up what you're doing every day. You're choosing, and you're making up your day. And you are choosing your day. Whether you're aware you're choosing or not, you are choosing. But what? All you have to do is just look at what you're doing, because that's what you were thinking. You're always thinking ahead of your evidence, and then whatever you're experiencing is ahead of the evidence that you thought about. So if you don't like it, well, change the program, change your thinking to yourself. And we might even get DeCarlo to smile over it.
That's the easy part.
Yeah, but it wasn't easy.
That's true.
It wasn't easy to get turned around to where you smile about it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, I really went through hell for that. I really did. And I know everybody's going through that right now. But you were given, change your mind, change your world. It seems to me that just saying that is enough to inspire you to do what you're told to do. Think only on things that are lovely and a good report. But and the magic word there, only. See, if that's all you're thinking about, that's all you'll be doing. You break it up with the negative nonsense because you enjoy them. You must. Otherwise, why would you be thinking about them all the time? But no, it's habitualness. That's all.
Exactly right. That's exactly right. That's what I was looking for right there.
Yeah. That's all it is. It's just our habitualness is all that's denying us. You see, all denial is self-denial. So if you feel you're being denied, it's you doing it. God's not denying you anything. He's told you ask. And he didn't put any parameters on it. So you're wide open right there. Ask, believing, receiving. It's as simple as that. But you got to keep it that simple. You got to do it that simple. You're on all the time. And you're creatively choosing all the time. In other words, you're making your way through this life through your choosing. What are you choosing? It's always up to you. No, you can't get anybody else to do it for you. All we can do here is give you information. And actually that's all the churches were there to do, was to give you the information. But and they try to encourage you to use the information they're giving you. But I don't really see all the ceremonies in that. You don't need that. All you need to do is sit in the silence and think feelingly about what you're thinking feelingly about, and recognize where you're going to go with that thinking. If it's not where you want to go, then change it. It's all so simple that I can't even change it. There's no way I can get around to change it. There's no way, because it's as you think you are. And it's that simple. If you want to change your mind, change your world. And that is exactly what you're to do. And you can do it. God told you to do it. So if he told you to do it, you can do it. If you want to. Because you were given to choose this day. So if you don't choose to do so, okay. And that's exactly what he'd say. Okay. God's not concerned about what you're doing. You know, if he would have been concerned, he'd put parameters on it, wouldn't he?
He would have.
And he didn't. He was not concerned about what you were, because it says, thou shalt not kill. And all the time. I mean, 36 violent shootings in one day. One day. What are the people thinking about? That's what they're thinking about, because that's what they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's as simple as that. That's exactly what they're doing, because that's what they're focused on. See, it's the same for you. What you're focused on is what you're going to be experiencing. You have a choice. See, that's the thing. That's the thing you really can't get around. You were given choice. Think this way or think that way. But you want to be single-minded and think only on things that are lovely and a good report. That would require single-mindedness, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, if you're going to think only on things that are lovely and a good report, that means you're doing it. Otherwise, you're not doing it. If you're not thinking on things that are lovely, what are you thinking about? Because you're going to experience it.
Yeah.
See, you can't get around it. If you say it, you'll experience it. So if you're going to say something lovely and a good report. So when you experience it, you're going to go, good. I actually can think things lovely and a good report. And once you get in the habit, make that your habitualness, thinking only on things that are lovely and of good report. If you're going to be habitual, do it in a positive anyway, right?
Absolutely. The question is, for many people, they say, well, why does this keep happening to me? And you will often say, it's not happening to you, it's happening through you. And the only thing that we need to do is continuously, if it's happening to us and it repeatedly is happening to us, then the culprit has to be thought. And if you want to change that dynamic, as Mr. Lindell has often said throughout the day, you have to begin changing your thoughts. He says that the first does the latter. So you change your thinking, change your world. The second does the thinking changes the world. So it's just a natural event of things. And let's not make it complicated. Keep it simple. If you're not liking what you're experiencing in your world this moment, start by changing your thinking. Now, just because it doesn't happen in mere moments doesn't mean that it's not working.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It's always working. You see, yes. You can do the honoriest negative things and you can imagine, but that's how you do it, because you imagine it. And imagining creates the real in this drama man. So if you don't want to see it in your world, then don't think about it. It's as simple as that. Can you keep it that simple? I doubt it, especially not at first. But you can do so. God told you to do it. You understand? If I tell you to do it, that doesn't mean anything. But God has told you to do this. And if he told you to do it, he knows you can do it. But it's you who's having a problem. It's you who's denying yourself. If you say you can't, I can't do this, I can't do that, I don't, well, come on. You can do anything you want to do if you really want to do it. It's all coming through you, not to you. I know you go by your senses and you think everything's coming to you, but no, it starts here. And this is where all the work is done, in the theater of mind, in the mind of imagination. That's where we do everything. And if you're not focused on it there, then you're focused on the outside, and then anything can happen. And it usually does.
Yep, it does. It does.
See, we even brought a smile to his face.
Yeah, the reality of that anything, and it's absolutely true. I think that we keep looking to the without as the cause. And the funny thing is, we relocate, we move from one location to another location, we move from one relationship to another relationship, we move from one job to another job, and we say, why does this keep happening to me again? And we fail to look at the only common denominator.
That's it. Words. You're using words. And the word was with God, and the word was God. In other words, he's telling you, I'm creating your world as you think you are. Now, if you don't like that, then all you have to do is change what you're thinking. Jesus told you very plainly the whole story. I of myself can do nothing. This is Jesus saying this. That he of himself could, the Father within does all the work. All he's doing is choosing what that work will be. If you can't give him a straight answer to the idea of what do you want, that you receive not because you ask not, well, start asking. People say, well, I ask all the time and I don't get any answer. Well, yeah, but you do. You get an answer to what you're actually thinking about, not necessarily what you're saying. You see, that's the two. You got to get those two together. What you're thinking and feeling, that's what you want to put out, and with the right attitude, because anything you send out with an attitude. When it comes back, the attitude's still with it. So be sure when you send something out, it's in a good attitude, because if it isn't, you'll experience it as a negative. And that's what why me? Why this? Why now? Watch what you're saying and you'll find out the answers to those, right?
Absolutely. You said, listen, with the attitude, you said the attitude comes back with whatever you're sending out. So when it returns, I like to add this about the attitude. Not only does it come back, it comes back multiplied and it brings friends.
Yes, that's true. That's true. Everything you get is pushed down, shaken together, and running over. So
Yes.
if it's a negative, wow.
Yeah.
And that's what people are. That's the hell on earth.
Yeah.
You're told to bring heaven on earth. Well, if you're told to bring heaven on earth, then it must not be heaven right now. It's according to as you think you are, you do, you have, you be. And it's as simple as that. So if you just watch what you're thinking, you know what you're going to do. You can plan ahead. I mean, I'm sitting here now, and I was thinking just a while ago. I asked my wife; she wants to go out to dinner this afternoon. Okay, so now when I see her, I'll tell her, "Hey, you want to go out to dinner?" I know the answer. Why I even ask a question? She, oh yeah, but look, if you don't plan your day, you've just planned your day. That's true, isn't it?
It is true. That's why I'm laughing. It's true. It's true. One way or the other is being planned. And often, if you don't plan it, others are going to plan it for you, as you often say.
Yeah, that's the reason. I mean, if you're not thinking for yourself, then the world around you is going to be thinking for you. And I'm sure you've run across that several times. I know I have plenty of times. And I'll say, no, 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 no. That's not what I want. Well, you see,
Absolutely.
it all starts here. It all starts right here, as you think you are. It says that in scripture. As you think you are. Well, wouldn't you want to watch what you're thinking about then? Wouldn't you say?
I would say. I would say. It's funny that you say that. I was talking to a friend the other day, and she was saying that the caregiving of like her mother, her father, her aunts, her uncles all falls on her. And I said, listen to what you just said. I said, you're owning that because you're saying that it naturally falls on you because there's nobody else. I said, now, hypothetically, I said, what would happen if you were no longer there? She said, well, I guess somebody else would do blank, blank, blank. And that's the thing. We think that, the world won't continue to revolve without us. But some great people have left this plane of existence and the world continues on.
Yeah. Nothing stops.
Nothing stops.
Nothing stops. It's ongoing. And people talking about ancient aliens. Of course they're out there.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they be?
Yeah.
I'd have them. I mean, they got thousands and thousands, millions and millions of planets out there that are habitable.
Yeah.
Populate them.
Yeah.
See if they can do better than we're doing.
They may be.
That's why they're here in their spacecraft and we're not there in theirs. Oh, I tell you, we have surprises coming that it's unimaginable right now.
Yeah.
For most people. But the truth is out there, it says,
Yeah.
and it is, but it's also in here.
Yeah.
You see, that's what you want to remember. It's also in here.
Mm.
Everything out there, everything is all right here. And you can move it around any way you want. You have the power, and that's what he said. Do a thing and you shall have the power, not a little power, the power. So you're operating the power with whatever you're doing. Are you wasting it, or are you getting the most out of it? That's what we want you to do. We want you to get the most out of life. But you have to bring it up. You have to claim it. See, we can hand it to you in knowledge, but you have to claim it. And if you don't claim it, then you don't experience it. That's simple enough, isn't it?
It is simple.
I mean, you're told to claim it, aren't you?
Absolutely.
If you're not claiming it, then why are you complaining about not having it? I mean, people complain all the time. Oh, I don't have this. I don't have that. Well, why don't you? You didn't ask for it. Oh, no, I asked and I asked for it, and I just didn't get anything. No, your prayers were all answered. No, my prayers were not all answered. I didn't pray for what I'm happening right now. Yeah, but actually you did. You see, that's where we're missing it. Yeah. You're on. And when I say on, that means you're making waves and you're experiencing those waves you're making. But you can change the direction of it. You can change the direction of your thinking and feeling. You're told change your mind, change your world. Why not try it? I mean, I say try it because I got by with that for years. You know, I know that. I know that. But I didn't know it. I only knew about it. And that's what everybody knows about it. They're not moving in and thinking from that idea, that those situations that we get ourselves into, we can get ourselves out of. You get out of it the same way you got in it. Thinking makes it so, right?
Absolutely. And I hope that they go back and listen to that portion, because it's really giving them the master key of change. And the truth of the matter is, we can change anything. What we don't realize is that we wake up to new possibilities every day. Moment by moment, we have new possibilities presented to us, but we continue to stay, you said the word earlier, habitual. We stay on that habitual track and we think that it's fixed, but at any given moment, I've seen so many people transform their lives, going from poverty to multi-millionaires and some even billionaires, simply by changing their thought pattern. People moving from no relationship to loving relationships, people moving from ill health to better health, to outstanding health, simply because they made a change in consciousness and they begun to do the things that made for that new beginning.
Physician, heal thyself. Yeah. That was not a slap in the face to doctors. No. Bless the doctors. But what it's telling you is that you can change your mind and change your world. And changing your mind changes your world. As Jesus said it, I myself can do nothing. Now, you've seen it. You've seen what he's done. And yet he's telling you he can do nothing. He's telling you that the Father within did all the work that he claimed. Well, that's the same thing with you. You have to claim it. You have to claim your success. You have to claim your healing. You have to claim a better life. It's what you're claiming. You're claiming from your inheritance, and you've inherited everything. And you're only taking a little pieces of it here and little pieces of it here. And you're denying yourself. But all denial is self-denial. God's not denying you. He's not denying you anything. He gave you choose this day. He didn't put any parameters on it. So all things are possible to those who believe. What do you believe? And you have been changing your beliefs all along since you were a little child. You believed you could get from here to there without bumping your head. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't, but that's what it is, trial and error.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we're all working on, trial and error. And if you find out you've made errors, well, then you can change them by changing your mind. It's as simple as that. I keep saying it's simple, 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 and someone says, well, it's not really that simple. Well, yeah, actually it is. But you're saying it's not because you're working on that.
Yeah.
All things are possible to those who believe. All things are possible to those who believe. Come on. How do you get around that?
You can't.
Huh? I
You
mean, it
can't.
says it's printed right there in scripture. All things, all, all, See, you miss that. That's what I like missing it. You know, think only on things that are lovely and of good report. Only. See, that's what we miss. We miss the magic words that are there. As you think you are. That's putting it simple enough, isn't it?
It is. You know, as we're winding down to close, you know, and talking about the all things are possible. Now, just because it's possible doesn't mean that we do the necessary thinking and to make it practical in our lives. Some things for many of us stay in the realm of being possible, but we never bring about the manifestation. But in scripture, it says, son, daughter, all that I have is yours. So it's not that, as Mr. Lindell will often say, that God's denying us, but our thinking, our belief system, our mental mastery is the thing that's denying us. What would you say in closing?
Actually, God has given you choose this day. What are you choosing? You're about choosing. Even though you say you're not choosing, and actually saying you're not choosing is also a choice. You've just chosen not to choose. But when you don't do the choosing, I'm telling you, they're standing in the wings waiting to see those who aren't choosing and don't choose for you. And I'm sure everybody has experienced that. But you don't have to. You can change your mind, change your world. That's all you have to concern yourself about, is getting your thinking according to what you want to experience and stay on that thought. It's focus. What has your attention has your life. What do you want to have your attention? You're saying it every moment. You're talking to yourself. Who else are you talking to? Even when you're talking to somebody else, you still hear what you're saying. So you're talking to yourself. But about what? What are you agreeing with? What are you denying yourself? Like I said, all denial is self-denial. God's not denying you anything. So if you're saying God's denying you, no, that's a falsehood. He said he's not denying you anything. So in other words, you're free to ask for whatsoever. And whatsoever is the potential of your asking, believing, receiving, but it stays potential until you show up and claim it. You have to show. And what do you mean showing up? I mean, just sit down in there, be quiet, be still, and listen. Just listen. That's all you have to do. Just listen. You'll hear it, but don't be surprised if it's in your own voice. You understand? Because he's with you. He's also, voice would he use but yours? He can't, he couldn't, if he even said anything, he'd blow your whole head off. All you have to do is just watch what you're thinking about. Now, I say that sounds pretty easy, but I know it's not. It's not easy at all, because you're running off. Even when you're sleeping, you're still thinking. I mean, the mind's still going, but the idea is like Neville would tell us, don't go to sleep angry. Don't go to sleep with negative thoughts. Make sure when you go to sleep, you're in that lovely place. Because if you're not, the night won't go right for you. If it does anything at all, it won't go right for you. As you think you are, you do, you have, you be. That's the closing argument as far as I'm concerned. What else could you do?
You can't add anything to it. That's it. That's it.
I mean, that's the whole story, isn't it?
That's the story. And on that note, sir, it's been a pleasure.
Yes, it has. Always is.
We'll talk to you later.
People just want to know what you did to be successful.
The 4 CDs that I have out there, it's all there. If you took any one of the CDs and actually followed through on what you understood there, you could change your mind, change your world. All you have to do is just listen to the CDs. It's always reiteration and reiteration.
I want to go back to the 4 CD set. Go to metaphysicalarttheater.com. We can only mail in the U.S. right now, but for those who are outside the U.S., we can send you a digital bundle with everything, so you'll get the enjoyment without waiting for it in the mail. Matter of fact, those who are in the U.S., if you would rather have the digital copies, we can do that as well. metaphysicalarttheater.com.